Hey guys, this is Sean, head captain, WVC World Vape Crew. It's my vape advocacy video. I've tried many times to get this right, so I'm gonna give it one more shot. First off, a little about me. 35 years old. I've been dipping since I was 21. I started dipping just as something to do. I was at a bowling alley one night. A cousin handed me a can of Skull Vanilla, and I put a dip in my mouth, and from that point on, I just never turned and looked back. I started vaping right around 8.5 months ago. And I was at my mother-in-law's house, and my sister-in-law was over there, and she's carrying around this little handy-dandy cool-looking thing, and I said, "What is that?" And she said, "It's a vape mod." I said, "A vape mod?" And she pulls it out, and she hands it to me, and I took a hit off of it and choked, and thought I was never going to be able to breathe again, and so I was like, "That's pretty cool." And she said, "Yeah, it's helping me get off cigarettes." And I said, "Well, that's awesome, you know." So I did some research on it, looked some up that maybe weren't so high powered, and found me a little pen that was adjustable, regulated, and went out and bought one. Used it for right around a month or two, and 2 weeks after I started using it, I went from 3 cans a day down to about a can and a half. I thought, holy crap. It took probably me about a week before I finally got the urges controlled, and a lot of my thing is I couldn't dip, or I couldn't vape at work, so putting gum, something in my mouth to keep my mouth busy while I was working. So I when I cut back to a can and a half a day, I thought, I'm going to push harder, and that pen just wasn't doing it for me. So I went up to a buddy of mine who had a couple of mods, and I said, "Look, dude, you need to tell me where you got this from, and I'd like to get me one." So he took me to his vape shop over in Marble Falls, and he said, "This guy's going to run you a killer deal on one of these things." So for $40, I left with a brand new mod, 2 18650 batteries, a tank to go on top of it, two small things of juice, charger, and a case for it. I devoted myself then. I'm not gonna lie, I've had slips in the past 8 months. But as of right now, I'm more concerned about vaping, not only for me, for my kids, for my family, for all my friends out there at the WEC. Anybody who knows me, anybody who cares, knows that I love everybody. I mean, there's nobody out there that I don't care for. And WVC is like that. Right around the time that I got my first mod, my G-Priv, we went back over to my mother-in-law's house, and my sister-in-law's sitting on the porch again, and so we all pull out our vapes, and we're vaping, blowing clouds and stuff. And she said, hey, y'all got to join this thing. Join what? The World Vape Crew. So I'm like, well, what is it? You know, what is this World Vape Crew that I've never heard of before on Instagram? And she said they advocate for vapors. Okay. So I go home and I'm, couldn't get it out of my mind. World Vape Crew, what is that? Well, she sent me a DM and she said, look up Redneck Vapor 1. He's the head captain of World Vape Crew. So I sent him a message. And that day was the first day to the rest of my life. The first conversation I ever had with Redneck Vapor 1 made me a believer. Red told me his story, told me what doctors had told him, and that, like I said, that was 8 months ago. I haven't looked back since. I love what the WVC stands for. I love the fact that the WVC stands for people's rights to sit in their house, to lay in their bed, to vape anytime, anywhere they want to. Trying to target vaping is a cheap shot by the government. It is what it is. When they can't target Tide Pods and kids snorting condoms, they've got to target somebody. And there are doctors out there, there are nurses out there. There are doctors and nurses in our crew that can attest that smoking is 2 to 3 times more harmful than vaping ever thought about being. And so I will stand mod in mod, hand in hand with the rest of my brothers of the WVC. I will fight right alongside with CASA, any of the other vaping advocacy groups, to stand there and fight for my right to push a button, fire an 18650 battery, and blow one heck of a cloud. There's nothing wrong with vaping if you do it responsibly. Nothing. There's a lot of these vape advocacy videos out there on YouTube. I've seen them all. I've watched them all. I've listened to them. Listened to people telling their stories. I've watched videos of our crew members growing. The WVC is now bigger than it's ever been. We span 6-7 countries. We have almost 300 members, and that's in 8 months' time. We have coal companies that sponsor us and support our fight. We have juice companies that sponsor us and support our fight. To fight for you people's right to vape. And I will say, my last closing thing for this vape advocacy video is, if there is a slight chance that I can walk up to someone, take that pack of Marlboros or that pack of Camels out of your hand and put one of these in it, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it for me. I'm not going to do it for anything other than that person has the right to live. That person has the right to live. They have the right to vape, and they have the right to be happy. So, here's one more for you. This one right here, it's going to go out to Redneck Vapor 1, WVC, Mama Bear, WVC, Kasa, Vaping Saves Lives,